We need a quick reality check here. Most people I talk to right now are not failing. They're just reading their business like a hobbyist instead of an actual business owner. And that one shift will change absolutely everything. A hobby seller looks at their shop and asks, did something exciting happen today? A business owner looks at their shop and asks, is this system moving in the right direction over time? What's killing a lot of momentum right now isn't design. It isn't all the tools. It isn't AI and it isn't saturation. It's how emotionally people are interpreting the quiet periods. If a shop feels quiet, people assume something's broken. If the week feels slow, they start changing things. If the month doesn't look like Q4, people are panicking, and they're doing it right now. And it's exactly how you accidentally sabotage a business that was actually starting to work. This video is not about grinding harder. It's about learning how to read your own data and your own progress like a real business owner. Because once you understand what quiet growth actually looks like, you stop emotionally editing all the strategies that just haven't had enough time yet. And that's the difference between building something and constantly restarting something. One of the hardest shifts to make when you move from hobby seller to business owner is this. You stop using your emotions as the main feedback system. Because emotionally, progress feels like a big spike, a viral product, sudden rush of sales, and maybe even a flood of messages asking you about, the product. That's emotional progress. It feels good, it feels validating, and it feels loud. But business progress is usually boring. Business progress looks like this month quietly beating the same month last year. Your slow months slightly getting a little less slow. And your shop not dropping back to ground zero after some kind of low. And orders showing up without you actually touching anything that day. None of that gives you the dopamine hit. It just gives you stability. And stability is what actually compounds. Quick side note here. If this kind of straight up, no fluff mindset stuff helps you stay grounded, make sure you subscribe. I post a lot more of this for people actually building real shops. And if this part actually hits, please type the word mindset in the comments. I read them all, and it also tells me what kind of content I should make more of for you guys. So here's the real problem. If you train your brain to only trust loud results, you will constantly break things that were finally starting to work. You will relaunch, you will rebrand, you will change niches again, you will delete listings, you will rebuild your shop from ground zero again, or open a new one. Not because the feedback wasn't exciting enough. Quiet progress is what builds businesses. Not because the strategy failed. Because the feedback wasn't exciting enough. Quiet progress is what builds businesses. Emotional progress is what builds short-term motivation. They are not the same thing. If you want a shop that still exists a year from now, you have to learn how to value the boring signals too. This one is a massive mindset leak. Q4 is the anomaly. The mistake I see constantly is people using Q4 as like the benchmark or the baseline for the rest of the year. That is entirely backwards. Q4 should only ever be compared to last Q4. Nothing else, no other quarter, that's it. Do not use Q4 to judge your January. Do not use Q4 to judge your spring. Do not use Q4 to judge whether your shop is working or not working. Q4 is artificially inflated. It's gift season, it's urgency season, right? It's emotional buying season. People are buying gifts for everybody. Of course it looks different. The rest of the year is where your real business lives. So here's a healthier comparison that actually tells you something. Compare January to last January. Compare February to last February. And compare spring to last spring. That's how you see whether your systems, designs, and your positioning are actually improving. Not by holding every month hostage to the one weird quarter of the year. And this is where a lot of people accidentally talk themselves out of forward momentum. And they'll say, yeah, but I'm way down from December. Of course you are. Everybody is. That does not mean you're sliding backwards. It means you're back in normal business conditions. If your normal months are slowly getting better year over year, you are doing the right work. You're doing something right. Take the win. That is business owner thinking, not hype thinking. A lot of people say, I'm not getting much signal from customers. What they actually mean is no one is messaging them, no one is tagging them, no one's hyping stuff up in their comments on their socials, no one's favoriting stuff, no one's telling them they love the product. That's not how most e-commerce businesses get real feedback. Especially not on marketplaces. Here's what real signals actually look like. Your orders are higher than the same month last year. Your shop doesn't fully drop off anymore. You have less and less zero sales days. You start seeing repeat buyers. Massive more. A few listings slowly become responsible for most of your orders. That's signal, that's normal, it's just quiet. And it's the part people miss. Quiet signal is more reliable than loud signal because loud signal is usually driven by trends, virality, or external traffic. Quiet signal is driven by fit. Fit between your product and the buyer, fit between your listing and the search intent, fit between your shop and the specific type of customer. And when you start seeing quiet fit, you do not want to reset your shop. You want to protect that. This is also a good moment to zoom out for a sec. If you're still trying to build something real on Etsy or Shopify, anywhere with print on demand, you actually want hands-on help instead of generic advice, scan the QR code on the screen here. That'll take you to my inner circle. It's not a course library or anything like that. It's an actual working group. And inside, we have another full-time seller, Juna, who sold hundreds of thousands of t-shirts. You may already know of him. And he and I actually redesign your designs for you. Not templates, not critiques. We take your real designs and rebuild them to the standard that we would actually use if we were going to list them in our own shops. Because you don't need more theory. You need to see what better actually looks like. This is where a lot of good sellers quietly stall. They don't fail. They just drift. They find something that works a little, and then they change lanes. New niche, new audience, new product type, new shop directions. Not because the old one stopped working, because they got bored, or impatient, or nervous because they didn't get those dopamine hits. Here's a distinction that actually matters. You do not need to lock yourself into one tiny idea forever. You need one lane, one audience, one core theme, and one main product focus. Inside that lane, you can rotate all the angles you want. That's how you stay creative without blowing up your data. So instead of switching niches, try rotate it. Rotate between something funny, maybe frustration-based. Make fun of the pain points, lifestyle, identity, giftable stuff, situational humor, or sarcasm. Same customer, same core topic, different emotional hooks. This is how you keep your shop readable to Etsy, and this is how you keep your brand readable to real buyers. And honestly, this is how you keep your own brain engaged without constantly restarting. Jumping lanes feels productive. It isn't. It resets the learning, it resets the audience, and it resets the algorithm. Rotation inside one lane builds leverage. Switching lanes builds confusion. That's the trade-off. This one usually surprises people. More listings is not automatically better, especially once you already have some traction. From buyer's point of view, even a handful of new products every week is a lot. Imagine if you're on an email list for a company you actually like. Join one, I recommend. And then you started getting, an email from them once a week with 20 new designs every week. It's an insane amount. You're not going to buy them all, right? What if they dropped one new design a week? You'd be way more inclined to probably buy one, right? Not rocket science. But everybody thinks just because you can make more with AI now, you can do more, list more, and it's going to be better. Most people don't walk into a shop and want a totally new catalog every time. They want clarity. They want to quickly understand, is this for me? Is this my kind of humor? Is this my style? Is this my problem or pain point that's getting highlighted in a funny way? That's why improving what already exists is often higher leverage than creating something brand new. Better layouts, clearer hierarchy, stronger first line, better, cooler fitting mockups, better titles. Small changes can unlock listings that were already very close. This is also where a lot of sellers accidentally block the algorithm that way. They keep flooding their shop with new products, but never give their existing listings enough time or consistency to actually be understood. Sometimes the smartest move in your shop is not adding, it's refining. And this is a good moment to say this out loud. If you're enjoying this kind of straight, practical breakdown, make sure you're subscribed. I share a lot of behind-the-scenes business thinking like this, not just design tutorials, because this stuff is what actually keeps people in the game long enough to win, and I truly believe that with the right mindset, that's ultimately what matters, right? Next is the fear loop with tools and subscriptions. This one is uncomfortable for a lot of people. January will have you, auditing your monthly spend, right? Most overcomplicated shops are not built from strategy. They're actually built from fear. Fear of missing something, falling behind, doing it wrong, wasting time. So people stack tools, more software, more subscription, more AI tools, more platforms, more workflows. It feels responsible and it feels like you're doing something. It feels like progress. But most of the time, it's just noise. You do not need a massive tool stack to build a real shop. You do not need ads to validate your designs. Ads help, but it's like pouring gas on the fire. So if you don't even have a spark, it's just going to be a wet, smelly mess. Know what I mean? You do not need 5 different research tools running at once. Been there, guilty. A simple setup that you actually use consistently will beat a perfect setup that you barely touch every damn day. Here's the real cost people miss. Every new tool adds a learning curve, another decision, another place to get distracted. More money, and distraction is one of the biggest killers of consistency. If you build your business from fear of losing money instead of confidence in your process, you'll constantly look outside your shop for safety. The safety is not in another platform, it's in the execution. That's where the edge actually comes from. This part is not sexy, but it matters more than most tactics. Working tired is not discipline. It's a decision quality problem. When you're exhausted, you second guess more, you scroll more, you over tweak more, you abandon good ideas faster. You don't suddenly become less talented. You just become less clear. Your brain is your business. You can keep it foggy, you're going to burn out. If you burn out, everything else slows down. 5 focused hours, even 4 focused hours while rested beat 9 distracted hours while drained every single time. And this is especially important for people building this on top of your daily life. You got jobs, you got kids, you got health stuff, you got enough stress in your life. You don't win by squeezing more time out of yourself and exhausting yourself, because that stress is just going to amplify it. You win by protecting the quality of the time that you do have. This video helped reset how you're looking at your shop even just a little bit. Make sure you subscribe for more of this kind of real world stuff and mindset stuff. But seriously, if you're nodding along with this and you're thinking, yeah, this is exactly what I've been doing wrong, type mindset in the comments. I actually read every single one, and it tells me that you actually want to hear more of this stuff. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.